Most American knife brands you grew up trusting are now made in China. The names are still American. The factories aren't. But 5 companies refused to move, and that decision almost destroyed some of them. Narration text. Type. String. Narration text. In Olean, New York, the Ka-Bar factory has been running steel and sweat into iconic knives for over a century. The company's USMC fighting knife, first issued in World War II, became a symbol not just for Marines, but for anyone who believed in the grit behind a Made in USA stamp. For decades, Ka-Bar's claim was ironclad, every blade cut, heat-treated, and assembled on American soil. But in 2021, that promise ran into controversy. The company announced a switch in its signature 1095 Crowvan steel, sourcing it from a German mill instead of the usual American supplier. The alloy stayed the same, but the move set off a storm among veterans and collectors. Forums lit up, hashtags trended, and petitions called for a return to American steel. Some buyers refused to touch the new models, while others scrambled to grab pre-2021 knives, driving resale prices up by 37% almost overnight. For Ka-Bar, even a single change in the supply chain was enough to test the meaning of American made and to remind the industry just how closely collectors and veterans watch the fine print. In Bradford, Pennsylvania, W.R. Case & Sons has been forging pocket knives since 1889, with every blade carrying a story you can trace right down to the tang stamp. That stamp, first introduced in 1949, lets collectors date each knife with a glance, turning every piece into a slice of American history. The brand's Model 1110 even rode to the moon with Apollo 11, tucked into the flight kit as a tool for the unknown. For decades, Case built its name on hand-finished craftsmanship and a workforce of artisans like Mike Forge Sullivan, who spent 35 years at the bench, shaping steel and passing down skills that do not come from a textbook. But the pressure to compete did not spare Case. In 2021, the company made a calculated move, the Tech X line, a budget series openly produced in Taiwan and clearly labeled as such. This was not a quiet outsourcing. Case put the country of origin on the box and kept the main line in Montana, with 85% of its knives still made in the US. The transparency was deliberate. By owning the exception, Case preserved its reputation and kept the collector community loyal. For Case, survival meant compromise, but never at the cost of honesty or the core American-made promise. Buck Knives built its reputation on rugged dependability, but the early 2000s nearly broke the company. With imports from China and Taiwan undercutting prices, Buck made a controversial move. The Mini Tech line, introduced in 2002, was built in Taiwan. Profits jumped by $7 million, but the decision landed hard with longtime fans. For a company led by the Buck family since 1902, the backlash was personal. The turning point came in 2005, when Buck relocated its entire operation from California to Post Falls, Idaho. The new 120,000 square foot facility became the heart of production, employing over 300 workers and restoring the company's focus on American-made quality. The Model 110 folding hunter, first patented in 1964, stayed an icon of United States craftsmanship, with nearly 87% of Buck's output now built in Idaho. The brief offshore detour proved a lesson. Loyal customers wanted more than a low price. They wanted knives forged on American soil by American hands. Benchmade's Oregon City factory has stood as the last word in American knife assembly since 1988. Every blade finished, tuned, and boxed by a workforce of 300. But in early 2019, the company found itself at the center of a storm. When a video surfaced of Benchmade employees helping local police cut up confiscated firearms, outrage swept across social media. Within hours, hashtags called for a boycott, and some collectors filmed themselves destroying their own Benchmade knives. The controversy deepened as political donation records surfaced, showing contributions to Democratic candidates and fueling accusations of betrayal among gun owners and knife loyalists alike. Despite the backlash, Benchmade never wavered on its core promise. 100% of its knives, from the Griptilian to the Bugout and the 940 Osborne, are assembled in Oregon. The company's LifeSharp guarantee, free lifetime sharpening and service, became a rallying point for loyalists. Every batch of knives supports about 12 full-time jobs, a figure Benchmade publishes as proof that staying domestic is more than a slogan. By 2022, sales had climbed back by 8%, a rebound driven not by price cuts, but by the trust that comes from real, local production. For Sergeant Linda Perez of the Chicago Police Department, who relies on her Griptilian every shift, the badge on the blade means something. Reliability, accountability, and the knowledge that the work and the workers never left home. Today, American-made still means tough choices, higher costs, sharper scrutiny, and no shortcuts. For these brands, authenticity is survival. The line between legacy and compromise grows thinner every year.